Yeah, it's your boy Cool Water, the digital dope man, back again with another episode in the Ballroom Chats podcast, where we talk about topics in the area of entertainment, business, politics, culture, and health. The Ballroom Chats podcast was created by me, Cool Water, the digital dope man, in the effort to have simple but yet meaningful conversations around serious topics that might be a little touchy for people and the community at large, where you can still get your point across and be heard without feeling like you may be subjected to some sort of demeaning mindset or character assassination as a result of, speaking your mind. So today I wanted to talk about Boosie. I just got through, and there's been a lot of talk about Boosie over the last several months. And he popped up again across my feed. He was on the Breakfast Club recently, and a lot of the comments centered around the gay community, the LGBT community. So I've listened in and wanted to see exactly what was going on with Boosie. Boosie from the gutter. He from the hood. He from the ground. He from the concrete. Dead roses running through the concrete. And him, like so many others in hip hop who had really no other alternatives, made something out of themselves. As he say, I come from the mud. He shaped himself out the mud and became successful. He his own man. He signed his own checks. He signed his, he decide what he gonna get paid. Well, as of late, because there's been so many issues going on around the LGBTQ community, Bosie has been on the forefront of that and been speaking his mind. And it's been a lot of controversy around that. So he was on the Breakfast Club, and a lot of those conversations and things of that nature were asked by Charlemagne, DJ Envy, and Angela Yee. Which I don't really know what to say about them folk. So this particular podcast is going to be titled Boosie and the Death of the Alpha Male. Now, I want to take you back briefly to a place in the 90s, in hip hop in particular, and really across the board. You could go hip hop, you could go sports and entertainment, you could go law, you could go movies, you could go politics, whatever. There was a period in time when the energy of the alpha male was at an all-time high. You look at folks like Judge Joe Brown, Donald Trump, who else was out there? Billy D. Williams, which he was kind of before, all of that, but Burt Reynolds, all the blacks exploitation films with Jim Brown and all them brothers in there. There was a certain energy that was resonating on the planet, aka masculinity, that you don't see a lot of today. So Boosie, who is hovering around his late 30s, getting ready to go into his 40s, would have been born right at the cusp of 79, 80, 81, 82, somewhere around in there, 83, so to speak, somewhere around in there. And he would have been a byproduct of the alpha male energy. His daddy was an alpha male more than likely. His mother may have been feminine, but she may have been an alpha female. So as a result, Boosie, who rose up from the mud, rode his own way through life, is not tied to the corporation, is not tied to somebody's paycheck, can say what he truly feels, even if some of his ideologies may be misconstrued with how he's raising his own children, but he got some of the fundamentals right, you know, and how he may view his daughter versus his son. You see what I'm saying? So that's one of the things that we have to take into account. Him being on the Breakfast Club only shows me that these individuals who work for these corporations continue to demoralize, demean, and suppress masculine energy. Angela Yee keep asking some of the dumbest questions you could possibly ask when she knows the answer. Charlemagne tries to play the middle. DJ Envy tries to be the rational one and make it all make sense. Boosie, by most accounts, is part of a dying breed of men who ain't with the fuckery. And most of the fuckery stems from individuals inside these industries like the entertainment, the music business, sports, education, politics, religion, having individuals who are leading double lives, and then those folks in politics now who have a particular agenda, running that agenda out into the forefront, so we begin to demoralize and demean alpha male energy, masculinity, which is why now they keep calling it toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity is nothing more than saying having masculine alpha male men, masculine energy is not good for society. We should keep everything neutral. Hence the reason you start to hear gender neutral as a new platform that's being uttered out. We're not calling him a he. We're not going to call him or she. We're just going to say they, them, those. Washing away the balance of nature between man and woman. So, you know, it's real interesting because we see more and more, we getting to see more and more men being men is not good for America. Donald Trump was a fool with it, but he was all man. Whether women liked it or not, he was an alpha male. Whether his energy was toxic or what have you, to some people, some women, some men included, he was a man. He was all man. Judge Joe Brown, listening to him talk and utter out some of the crazy shit that comes out of his mouth, he's all man. He's a masculine man. And what we don't see is more feminine females. Now women are even becoming more masculine. So Boosie, along with some other people who may be in the music industry, are uttering off their dislike for stuff that they see. For example, his controversy stemmed around the Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X going on there, humping on a man, doing all of that. Boosie was exactly right. This is not something I want my children to see. Because one, it's in real time. Two, you can't pull it back. And three, it cuts at the core of what masculinity and femininity really is. See, if Lil Nas X want to be gay, that's his business. If y'all want to provide gay entertainment for people that like gay entertainment, then you need to set up a pay-per-view channel for that, so they can watch that type of entertainment in the comfort of their own home at the disposal of their own dollars. When you begin to make it public domain and it's on public television for the world to see, then you're cutting at nature's law. You're cutting at the natural order of things, because you really are trying to push an agenda that will disturb the mind of the little children. So you hear Charlamagne say shit like, well, what about hip hop and the abuse towards women, calling women out their name, violence and on black violence and all of that. Yup, we can always say that is a problem and that's a product of the environment, but that doesn't cut at the core of nature's law when it comes to male and female relationships. See, Boosie, he's smart, but he didn't have the intellectual depth. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like a Umar or somebody like a Tariq Nasheed, you know what I mean? To be able to go in and explain that whole dichotomy that was going on between the two different, parallel, but two different worlds. Black on black violence is a situation that has always been a problem. You could take the entertainment out of it. Calling women out their name, you could take the entertainment out of it. Men been doing that for years. Hell, women been doing that shit for years. Corporate America is corporate America executive back boardrooms. White men, black men, Hispanic men, whatever. All of them have a natural vernacular for how they express themselves towards women in general. It's part of the culture of life. When you excel to certain ages, you use certain vocabulary. Do all men think women are bitches and hoes? Nah. Do they think a large part of them may be? Yeah. They may feel that way. You know what I'm saying? But you can't bottle these two up and get the same result, because the math don't add up. There's not a what you call it? There's not a dying connection between the two. So to hear Charlamagne say that, it adds no value. It adds no value to the bigger picture of things. You see what I'm saying? I think, again, this plot and this plan is to destroy men's ability to be men and speak about issues that disturb manhood, so that you go along and get away, go along and get along. You take the baby. I mean, hell, he said some stuff out the way. Look what happened. They put him in his place. He had to go around and do the pony dance. He had to do the dog and pony dance. I'm gonna do something on him shortly. Boosie being an 100% alpha male and been to prison and been around a lot of men who probably were gay, which they were, and might have been committing homosexual acts, understands the complexity between the two worlds. You see what I'm saying? Charlamagne, Angela Yee, and DJ Envy are only doing what corporate interest wants them to do, which is refute the ideology of most people who would look at this and say, ah, man, that ain't right. That's not how it's supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things, man, where I truly believe that Boosie is in the right But because everybody now is being bought off in a sense, he's like an island unto itself. And if you go back to the early 90s of hip hop, you go back to the early days, that's all it was masculine men rapping about shit that wasn't cool in society, even if some of them dudes might have been gay. They knew they still had to rep masculinity. You see what I'm saying? They still had to rep masculinity. And that's the issue that I think is being missed. So the alpha male is a dying breed that is definitely dying a slow death, because at the end of the day, no one wants a man to be a man anymore, because if he does that, then that obscures the philosophy and the ideology of what the real agenda is for those who are in power, which is to subdue your will as a man to want to stand up for your family, your woman, certain social issues, political issues. You feel me? You need to be docile. The only way to do that is to condemn everything that a man would do, so that there is no more manhood. So if I show you enough Lil Nas X, if I show you the dudes running around here with their fingernails painted, if I show you dudes wearing skirts and dresses, then that begins to take away the strength and the vocal ability that you may have to want to go against the grain. And that's exactly what you're seeing in the social media sphere and in some public forums that are now being put out here for us to watch. So Boosie is saying what he want to say, but it comes at a cost, because a lot of people will start to step back. Even though, he said, you can't fire somebody. You can't fire me because I write my own checks. I'm not on nobody's payroll. But what happens is there's a limitation to where Boosie can go. He can be independent, sit over here on the sidelines and eat. But when it comes to getting in certain venues, doing business with certain people, okay, well, the stigmatism is there. And the word spreads fast. Don't do no business with Boosie. And before long, you look around, Boosie can't get off no more. He can only try to release his own projects, but now the crowd is diminishing because they keep staining his name. The fans are moving towards other people now because you've gotten older and you're not quite the same as you was in your early day. So it has an effect, because there is a machine that runs this whole entity, and they know how to use the machine so that it starts to slowly squeeze you out. You dig? And that's where we are with Boosie. So again, I think Boosie, and there's other rappers, are part of the dying breed of alpha males who, like myself and others, will not have a voice to be able to get off in the future, because you speaking your mind as a man will be looked at as totally contrary to popular belief. Hey man, check me out. I'm Cool Water, the digital dope man. Look for me at the blog ishiphopdead.com. Look for me at the home base site, thedigitaldopeman.com. Please subscribe, share, and tell a friend what we doing over here at Barroom Chats. Peace and stay blessed. Holla.